What if we're in a game and we're screwing it up? They're out there. Ran into a group today that were affected, but the one girl was kind of freaked out, and I could tell she wouldn't say anything. So I just, I got her name and I signed the book to her and gave it to her, and I explained it's like science fiction, because she couldn't understand it, and she started looking up everything that I questioned. So after a while, she started getting the answers right, and I'm like, what are you doing?" She was looking it up on Google. Every time I asked a question, she goes, "Yeah, that's not what I would have answered, but this is what it is." Um, yeah, fun group, really good people I've been running into. Mostly people aren't affected. Um, Mostly people are indigenous to this timeline. Mostly people recognize the way it is now, or most of the people are from this universe. And whatever it is, I don't know. Even my top theory is, suspect, and that's my consciousness is shifting through timelines. It still answers all the questions. So does the simulation theory. That answers all the questions. A spell would answer all the questions. That's so. It's. I'm just going with what I feel and what I believe, what I know, what I believe and know. That don't even matter. It's what I feel. So, but yeah, really fun group I had. I did get to film them a little bit. I didn't, I didn't really get the good stuff, but here it is anyway. I don't know. Line, he's carrying a gun. Don't shock you. Sex what in the city? What did you say? The four girls running around New York City is called
Sex and the City.
And the City.
I don't know. I've never watched it.
It's the sign. Oh wow, I never had that one before.
You know it.
What did you say about the four girls running around New York City? What's the second word? And. Okay. In this timeline, you are correct. It is and.
I had thought for a long time it was Sex in the City.
It was in the city.
That's just perverted.
It was, right. And that's why I always couldn't stand that. I worked for Donald Trump, and the big saying was, "Are you getting any?" I'm like, are you kidding me? How come everything has to be sex? Why? I don't understand. And that always burned me up. And that was the same thing with Sex in the City.
I found out it was and I was like, you know what? That's okay. Because then they're separate narratives.
Didn't change your life at all?
No.
All right, I totally have a visitor tonight. I'm going to sneak the camera up on her. Let's turn that. There she is.
Are we on camera?
We're on camera.
Hello.
Say hi to all the Mandela.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, your consciousness is the only thing that's real. This is the first time I've ever done this with the explanation first, without asking the questions. And your consciousness is shifting through timelines. Physical reality is actually I had the word the other day. It's stationary. And you're shifting through stationary timelines. And what's happened is there have been changes because we're going in a different timeline, so there's got to be a slight difference. Well, the changes are getting so extreme that it's kind of getting obvious. So I'm going to ask you some questions now. You guys are all kind of young, so probably get most of these right. And this has really been failing for me in this timeline. This timeline, most people are indigenous to this timeline. So you might not get these questions right. Or you'll probably get them right. They made me do a shot. I'm going to start with something different. I got almost 200 videos on YouTube about this stuff. And there's thousands of other people affected that notice these changes, but not everybody. And you might notice some and not the others. I got one that you're all going to get wrong. Now, and this is the bread and butter, and I hate going here right away. I should probably, you know what? I'm gonna do the bears later. I'm gonna do the Bears later. What is that TV show? No, you know what? I got one. It's a Beautiful Day in
The Neighborhood.
the Neighborhood. Anybody else? No, not from here. Oh, you're not even from this country.
No, we're from the Netherlands. I'm from Texas.
Fuck. Okay, so Texas. So what did you say?
From the neighborhood.
In this timeline it is this neighborhood. I just slurred. He made me do one shot. I slurred. In this timeline, it is this neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, but it was the. I know that's a tiny one. You remember JFK, John F. Kennedy? You remember him?
Yeah.
How many people were in the car? Let them answer first, because I know you know this one, right? How many? You saw it. How many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated?
Including him or
Including him. How many people?
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Like his wife was sitting next to him,
the driver?
and then there's a driver, and it could be someone else.
I was thinking 3, but
3. Okay. She don't have a dog in this race. Well, go ahead, give me Texas. You said 3. Texas. What do you say?
Go with 4.
4. In the 80s, I studied it. There was 4. Are you ready? Now there's 6.
What?
it's not possible.
Not possible. It is if your consciousness is shifting to a different timeline.
Is it after he got shot, people jumped in the car?
Yeah, maybe, but that's not what I'm talking. When they had their asses sitting on them chairs when that bullet went through his head. That
Now
was.
it's 6?
Wasn't that nice?
Isn't just
The way I put
people
that.
that changed it from 3 to 6.
How?
Well, no, did they just?
It didn't change.
it in the books
You
or
did.
something?
It didn't change. You changed. You shifted to a timeline where it's always been 6 people. That's the Mandela. Now you're affected. That's the Mandela effect. What color is a yield sign? I got to go to Texas for this one. I don't know if you guys even have yield signs.
Yellow. Yes, I do.
What color is
What's
it?
a yield?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Red and white, some says.
It's always been
Yeah,
red
it's
and
like,
white. It's never been yellow, and he thinks it's yellow.
Or orange.
It's always been red.
Red and white.
What?
It's red and white.
Yeah, this guy's head's going to blow up.
I guess I was thinking of the yellow light.
Oh, you were thinking. Were you thinking
In a
again?
different time.
Now you're going to start justifying it. Listen, dude, Jiffy peanut butter never existed. Curious George doesn't have a tail. I mean, are you kidding me?
That is true. You're right.
But I remember him having a tail. Many others do as well. Here's the bread and butter one. Do you guys have the Berenstein Bears in your country? Oh, that was the bread and butter.
Only the zoo.
You don't even know them? I didn't know them either until 2012. They've been around since '62, and the spelling is different for people. What weapon does the Scarecrow carry in The Wizard of Oz? You've seen that, right? Nothing? No weapon?
I wasn't in. I didn't see it. I'm
No
sorry.
dog in this race.
I
That's
don't
what you
think,
say.
I don't think he had a weapon.
You don't think he had a weapon. There you go. You know what? I don't think he had a weapon either. But in this timeline, he carries a pistol. How messed up is that?
That's a crazy timeline, right?
Oh, dude.
So when are we going to the next timeline?
Every nanosecond you shift. If the theory that I postulate is correct, every nanosecond you're shifting. And you can actually manipulate it, control it, use it, direct your consciousness into the timeline more to your liking. No doubt in my mind, because I've been doing it. There's thousands of changes. I mean, thousands, and you might not see them all. You might see some of them. But the idea is physical reality is a lie. They lied to us about everything.
Who's they?
Who is they? I don't care. It's about my perception. It's not about if the earth is a ball or round or flat or globe or whatever. I don't care.
You don't care?
Why do I care? But some of the experiences I had were pretty wild. I've had stars communicate with me, orbs tell me not to eat meat, had a conversation with my daughter on the phone that did not take place. I had a scar. This scar here used to be over here.
Was it from your cat?
It's very good, very good. We need humor. That's good. Oh, my. TV show with the 4 girls running around New York City. You guys got that in your country? Sex something?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Sex in the City.
What's the second word?
Sex in the City.
In the city. All right. Anybody
That
else?
was and.
You thought it was and
not
you
and.
thought it was and you're saying it's not and, it's in.
Sex.
Pretty sure it's and.
In the city?
In or and, guys?
And.
And you and I came from the same timeline because I remember in as well, and I'm sure it was in, okay? But it's now always been and.
Yeah.
Weird. Is that all you get? All right. Everybody say bye to all my Mandela affected friends so I can, yeah.
Thank you.
You got it. And what if digitally remastered actually means this recording is from another reality?
Story that I told about something that you are going to dig.
Yeah?
That
Okay.
happened. Okay.
All right. And Victoria here has a story for me. I'm going to go ahead and film it. Let's see how she comes out there. Let's get the light on you. Go ahead.
The full moon.
In the full moon, right?
Yeah.
Bang!
Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about
Hold on. You know what?
that light.
Please repeat what you just said. Please. I said to them,
About Holland and the Netherlands.
just shush. Will you stop? I just want to hear what you said. I don't want to hear an explanation or anything else. I said, what country are you from? And you said, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Holland.
Okay, you heard it. I don't even want to hear the explanation. You heard it. And then she changed it to the Netherlands because she shifted
Because
real
you
quick.
can use both.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
you can use both, but it's not
It's
the same
entirely
landmass.
correct, but it is correct.
It's not the same landmass.
I mean, it's
Technically, no.
Technically-
We use it both. Technically,
in
no.
Holland, people in Holland.
You guys are millennials, aren't you? You got an answer for everything. Jesus. Even looking at the news to see what everybody else is doing and what's going on is bringing that into your reality. Okay? You're hurting yourself by just checking it out. That simple. Beautiful. Here we go.
Okay, I'll tell you about the first time that I was ever able to, it's something like automatic writing or something like channeling. And I was in Chartres in France, in the enormous cathedral there. And I was overcome by this, like a sensation, like a voice.
You are so softly spoken. I hope they can hear you.
Okay, so I was overcome by a voice, and I am not religious. I'm not a Christian. I've studied some scripture, just out of curiosity. But I started to write this down, and a voice came through very clearly, and she said, "I am a queen of angels." She did.
I
And
like that.
I wrote about 3 pages of what she said to
Oh,
me.
really?
Yes. And when I left, I hadn't been to the sacristy in the middle of the church. And it's like a 1,000-year-old labyrinth.
Okay.
It's a labyrinth.
I'm really done interviewing people at the bar. I mean, because they're just not responding. They're answering all the questions as if they've. Yeah, ain't that ugly? I gotta fix that. Get that thing. It's like, they answer everything's right. They get them all right. 6 people in the car. He had a gun. Kit Kat had a dash. So I'm done. I don't even bother. It's the newest Mandela effect. I can affect Alicia here. Let's see, what could I do? What's the latest one? I don't remember.
What?
Latest Mandela effect. I don't even bother anymore, I'm telling you.
I don't know.
Do you know about Stofers? I did.
Stofers.
Shit, I blew it anyway.
What? 2 F's?
Kraft.
Kraft is with the K?
Or Pillsbury. Which one makes stovetop stuffing?
Kraft.
You see what I mean? It's exactly what I was talking about. I don't bother asking people anymore because they get them all right now. It's true. Everybody's getting them right, so I stopped. So, of course, I'm at the bar just having a normal night, and Jim's like, hey, did you ask him about the Mandela effect? I'm like, man, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to knock you out to stop. I know. So, of course, I start asking them, and they're answering them all right. And, of course, I show the lady one money in my book, and she's like, what are you doing? I said, is this a dream? This is a fictional story, right? And I'm just like, wow.
Are you doing acid? Is that really what they asked you?
I've had quite a few people ask me if I was doing LSD. And the thing is, I used to get upset. I still get upset, and it still hits me. But I'm like, whatever. Go
Well,
away.
it's just
You're
'cause
not interested.
people's minds are so closed and they're not open. They're not open-minded to,
It's true.
or they don't want to think about, because that's way beyond their mindset. Like, they can't comprehend.
They can't, man. It hurts.
Yeah.
Let me run back in there.
Okay.
Yeah, see, everybody's getting. I don't even bother anymore. I don't care. I'm not going to be doing. I already talked about that. Interviews and such. Oh, got some customers. Some guys playing all country music, so I got to get out here as much as I can. Just to balance. That road in there to get to these hot springs I heard about. Were absolutely amazing. It's just like a total wooded area where everybody's walking around naked. It's cracking me up. And it was pretty awesome, pretty freeing. We're good.
And so I was leaving through the east door, and I all of a sudden I swear to God, I heard this voice. I have something for you. Go to your right. So I went in, and it's like a gift store. It's like lots of like kitschy little Christian things and that thing. But I went over to a counter, and I saw it. There were all these medallions, and I saw it, and it was the labyrinth. It was the labyrinth.
Wow.
And so I pointed to it right away, and I said, that's what I want, right there. And I was really profoundly moved by that. Profoundly moved.
Sure.
And so moved, as a matter of fact, I later had that labyrinth tattooed on my back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do we get to say it?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes,
no.
you can see my
Oh
labyrinth.
Lord, here we go.
This is the short labyrinth.
Look at that. That's something.
Yes. And that's how much it moved me.
Wow.
Is that I wanted it to be with me always. And there were so many incidences after that.
So what were you saying? Well, what were you saying about the book that struck you that? Well, I had those experiences. You had some of the same experiences.
Well, yes. My sister and I talk about this all the time about the multiverse of lines of consciousness.
Okay.
And that we switch over sometimes, and we joke about it because things like you'll put a pair of earrings down, and you'll know where you put them.
Oh, that's the fairies.
And yeah, the fairies, yes.
That's an inside joke.
And but you've looked there for like 8 years. You keep looking for this pair of earrings,
Right.
and then one day you open the door, and there they are.
They were there the whole time, right? Or
They were there the whole
whatever.
time.
Right.
So we laugh about this. We call this the switching of timelines.
Sure.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense to me.
yeah.
That's great.
It does.
Thank you.
Also,
What do you got? Uh-oh.
Okay, one more thing.
No, but plenty. You could do 10 more things.
Okay,
I got somebody else behind the bar. We're good.
the story that you told about the stars coming down
Yes.
and talking to you.
Oh, Lord.
My husband, he was an old hippie in Hawaii, and he used to skateboard down Haleakala. And Haleakala is about 13,000 feet on the island of Maui. And they would go up in a full moon night like this, and they would smoke a lot of pot, and they would skateboard all the way down to sea level, 13,000 feet on the switchback.
Oh, nice.
Well, one night they were up there, and it was him and a bunch of his friends, and they all saw it.
The stars came at them.
The stars came at them.
More than one. Just a bunch of them
Yes.
just started.
Yes,
That's awesome.
and they watched it, and they all agreed that this was happening.
What did they think it was?
At first they thought it was spaceships.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, sure. I guess that's what you would think of UFOs.
yeah.
I guess that's all they went with, right? They
Yeah.
didn't explore it after that. I mean, what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
But they saw it in a group.
That's awesome. I'm not nuts.
No, you're not. This stuff is happening.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I definitely
I'm a
agree.
witness.
I'm a witness too, dear. Thank you. So, I'm at the bar with these two ladies, and Jimmy said, you know, the guy dressed up like Gandalf. He says to this couple, "Hey, did you ask him about the Mandela effect?" I was like, "Jim, don't do it." So the one lady's kind of talking to me. She's not affected at all. You know, she's getting all the answers right. And I said, "Jim, I got to run and get beers. I ain't got time. I won't deal with this." The guy next to her, on the other side, not even, you know, with them, he's like, "I got all those questions wrong, man." I said, "I feel like an idiot." So I went over to him, and, you know, as I'm serving beers, go ahead and I explain it to him. He hands me $100 and tells me to buy 10 books and give them out to the bar. So I still have to give 2 away. I've only given away 8. How cool was that? Came out and I started to go, "Hey, my book is cheap and blah, blah, blah." Yeah, I started to sell them. So anyway, I started telling them about the word occurrence. And how do you spell occurrence?
OCCURENCE.
Anybody else want to give another shot?
I was gonna say if you did a great
I
job.
always remember ANCE, and you're still wrong. There it is. It's on the back of the book. You can go ahead and, because that's how I found out.
I think it depends on
You
Well, I
see-
think
RCC.
you saw it at
Oh,
ANC.
wow.
In another timeline, it was absolutely. I know that. So you got it. Damn. I've been thinking about the spell theory that Jay Dreamer brought to my attention, and I like it because a couple of reasons. Number one, it's supernatural, and Mandela effect is supernatural. Paranormal. It's not physical reality. It can be put inside. It's your beliefs. So I'm thinking, okay, if it's your beliefs, if whatever you really believe strongly enough, it is going to be how you're going to experience your reality. And for the people looking into the Mandela effect, are searching for truth, and that's their belief that it's out there. So that's what we're experiencing. We're experiencing truth. You know, we might not be getting it all, but it's starting to peer out to us. And that's our belief. Our belief is we can find the truth. So we're experiencing these things. And that delves into another theory, you know, where you focus. One of the theories, or part of the theory that I resonate with, because, excuse me, these cool walls, which touch you, say, look at that right behind. It's a mountain. It's a naturally full mountain. You know, I understand what Jay was talking about, that, you know, that's where we're focusing, that's what we're going to pick up, so we're breaking the spell. And I don't know if spell is the right word to use, but I guess it's as good as any, because I've said that before, it's all just words. And the theory that I resonate with quantum and infinite, that answers every question. You know, I was trying to think of, well, what's my top theory? Because I never really put them in order. I know what my top theory is. What would be my second theory? It would be simulation theory, because that answers every question. So does the first one, quantum immortality and infinite. Although I do know a couple people that resonate with that theory, but they can't wrap their head around infinite. And every nanosecond, there's another timeline. And I get that. You know, everything's exactly the same except for a blade of grass in another country somewhere. You know, I figure, why not? That's what keeps everything together. That's what the adhesive is. it's so close together, and then there's timelines with different parameters, and I think that's what we're seeing in the Mandela effect. Different. That's why we're seeing a change here and there because we jump into a timeline where it's different parameters. But then the simulation theory. That answers every question. It's glitching. I want to peer into that and why I don't think that it's simulation theory. Oh, because of the experiences I had, it could still be a simulation. It could be. I tend not to think so, but I'm not taking it off the table. Quantum entanglement. I need to look more into that. I need to understand more about it. To me, it's part of the first theory that I feel is true because of mirror things. If I understand quantum entanglement right, that we've shifted to the other side or something to that effect. See, I can't really speak on that really well. I don't know enough about it. But it sounds like it's very similar to quantum infinite immortality. That we shifted to the Sagittarius arm. No, I'm saying no on that. It's only because I have experiences with more than just this or that, one or the other. Orion or Sagittarius. I mean, even then, I guess it still could be. I just saw that Sagittarius arm, and I saw it in different parameters. I mean, it's possible, but then that would still denote more than two. So the new Earth, I think that it could be a shift to a new Earth, but it's still going to have infinite or multiple. I even go with multiple. Different timelines, different parameters within that new Earth. And I think we'll probably be aware of that. The other theories, I'm all over. I'm done with CERN and the D-Wave computer, and that this is man-made. If it is being manipulated by man, then that's all it is. It's a natural thing that is being manipulated by man. And I think we're actually creating it. The powers that be know that. And they feed us all the garbage, so we create garbage and we're in control. The nice little control party, or whatever they do. Stay away from the TV, man. Stay away from the news. I don't understand. It's all lies, and a lot of people know it's all lies. It's all an act. It's all a show. Even if it's actually going on and happening, and because it's not, turn your back on it. I was talking to somebody about that. I think it was Danny. Scott Performance. We were talking about that. And he's like, don't give it. I forget his words. He might have said, "Turn your back on it." One of us did. I don't know. But if you're not focusing on it, it's really not happening within your timeline. Now, if it's happening in other timelines and we want to do something about that, we got to stop focusing on it. Turn your back on it. I'm talking in spiritual terms. I'm talking in dimensional terms. I'm not even talking physical. See, I just turned it down. You should see what I see. I think you're hungry now, huh?
have seen complete deceptiveness on YouTube. I have seen people that I would consider part of the Mandela effect family completely turn. And it's funny because I've seen people jump ship. And what was funny about it is, months ago when I was learning to observe, I was thinking of getting out of it. And it wasn't that I wanted to get out of it. I like doing this. I like teaching. I like teaching through example. And that's what started this for me. This whole thing was started. Hey, Prince. From me having experiences and that I could describe, share, and hopefully teach. But then it became cliques and groups, and you got the infighting and this and that, and you got people that are experiencing shifting their consciousness through timelines, and they're looking for answers, and they come into groups and they see fighting and people making jokes and satires about the Mandela effect, and unless they dig deep, it's just going to be them turning their back on it and going into a shell. That's why all this stuff is coming out now. A lot of the separation, a lot of the people that we consider our friends in the Mandela effect group were planted there.
So, my husband had a race boat, and after a long adventure, he was planning to race it from San Francisco to Hawaii, and it was lost at sea. The insurance paid off, all of that. It was fine, it was gone.
Right.
11 and a half years later, it came up on the beach right in front of me.
That's amazing. And
In Hawaii.
You're gonna direct me to that story?
Yes.
All right. I'll try and link it to everybody here too if they want.
Yeah. And that's on my YouTube channel is
Yeah, plug that.
I just have a few family things.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I'm sure everybody's going to want to see that story.
This is called The Strange Boat Story.
Okay.
And it's on Peace Prevail on Earth.
Peace Prevail on Earth.
Yes.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. See you guys. Nice meeting you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for being good sports.
We're multidimensional beings experiencing multiple dimensions. After that, I don't know. I have theories after that, and my theories would be that my consciousness is shifting through timelines. It's my top theory. I like it less and less, but it's my top theory. I mean, that's what I go with. I say I like it less and less because there are so many other things coming up that, the new theories like that, the spell one. Well, I kind of like that. It's interesting. It could be put inside these other theories that, the way you're going to break the spell is by searching for truth. And that's what every one of us have done our whole lives. To me, that's the basis of the spell theory. That the ancients put a spell on us, and the search for truth is the antidote. Why couldn't that be true? And our consciousness shifting through timelines. Our consciousness is shifting to the truth because because that's where our focus is. We're focusing on the truth, and so we shift to the truth. That broke the spell. Makes perfect sense. The quantum shifting, quantum infinite immortality. I could put that in brackets. Quantum and infinite answers every question. If it's infinite, if it's quantum, if you have the same exact situation going on right this nanosecond, except for a blade of grass is a centimeter shorter, and the one next to it is a centimeter bigger, but every single circumstance is the same. That's how we're able to interact with each other and remember things. Remember things. We're able to interact because, for one person, it's a different timeline, dimension, density, reality. Let's see. I'll say timelines because for me, another dimension would be not non-physical, and we're all in our own density. No, see, I don't like that. I'm gonna switch that. Density would be something not physical, and you're all in your own dimension. And everybody's in their own dimension, and we're able to interact with each other because there's a tiny blade of grass somewhere in the world that's different, and everything else is exactly the same because it's infinite. To me, that's the only way this could be done. Physical reality. My mind's been opening up to a lot of things, and I've been, just talking it out. But I'm not going to interact. I'm going to observe. I'm going to observe. I don't have a lot of time anyway, and I enjoy trying to share my experiences so others can, it's not just me. I'd say embrace this time. Embrace now.